Hi, Caleb. Time for another bedtime story, and this time we're going to read chapter 6, called Magnificently Magical Flying Reindeer, and it's from the Christmasaurus. Now, if you remember, in the last chapter that we read, they decided what they were going to call the dinosaur, and they've decided to name him the Christmasaurus. So let's see what's going to happen in this chapter. I hope you really enjoy it. But get comfy, get cozy, cuddle up to your Pikachu. You know I've got my Pikachu here with me. And let the story begin. Chapter 6. Magnificently Magical Flying Reindeer. For the Christmasaurus, growing up in the North Pole was awesomely fun. He would watch the polar bears play ping pong. He'd watch the forest fairies fish for fidgets, little swimming insects that fairies ate as snacks. They tasted like Marmite. He'd watch the snowmen ice skate and the walruses waltz. But of course, he spent most of his time with Santa and the 8 elves who'd found him. Snozzle Trump, Speckle Hump, Sparkle Foot, Sugar Snout, Star Lump, Spud Cheeks, Snow Crumb and Sprout. They were all family to the Christmasaurus. And as the Christmasaurus grew, they looked after him, fed him his daily serving of 42 mince pies, washed him with the happy tears of fairies, fairy liquid, walked him 3 times an hour, and did pretty much everything that your mum and dad do for you. Those 8 little elves, as well as Santa himself, were the closest thing to parents that the Christmasaurus had, and he loved them all very much indeed. But even though Santa and the elves were a wonderful family, the Christmasaurus was sometimes very, very lonely. He felt lonely because he was different. He was the only dinosaur in the world. There were lots of elves, lots of polar bears, and lots of walruses, and whales, and snowmen, and forest fairies. But there was only one of him, and that made him rather sad. Whenever the Christmasaurus felt sad, he knew there was only one thing he could do to cheer him up. He would go and visit his favourite of all the creatures in the North Pole, Santa's magnificently magical flying reindeer. Santa's magnificently magical flying reindeer were the most wondrous creatures you could possibly imagine. Clear your head for a moment. I'm going to help you picture one. You ready? Close your eyes. Imagine a pair of soft, velvety antlers. Now double their softness. Imagine a pair of deep, twinkling black eyes like a starry sky. Imagine a dark brown fur coat speckled with jingly, jangly bells. Imagine 4 bright golden hooves that seem to glow from within. Now, imagine this creature flying around 10 meters above your head, and voila! There you have one of Santa's magnificently magical flying reindeer. The Christmasaurus, though, thought they were magnificent too. He would spend hours after hours just watching them fly about in circles, high over his head. You see, the Christmasaurus had a secret. He wished that he could fly up there with them. The Christmasaurus thought that if only he could fly like a reindeer, then maybe he wouldn't be so different. Perhaps one day he might even be allowed to pull Santa's sleigh. Well, once that idea had found its way into the Christmasaurus's head, there wasn't a fidget's chance on the North Pole of it getting out. Pulling Santa's sleigh on Christmas Eve with the magnificently magical flying reindeer became the Christmasaurus's life ambition, and from that moment on it was all he ever thought about. From that moment on, look at those magnificently flying reindeers. I think Tom Fletcher is pulling a fast one, constantly putting in magnificently flying reindeers, because it's very difficult to say all the time. If a reindeer can fly, then so can I, he would think to himself in his dinosaur's thoughts. He promised himself that he would do whatever it took to get his scaly dinosaur tail off the ground and into the air with the reindeer. So, the Christmasaurus started eating the same food as the reindeer, and he started drinking the same drinks as the reindeer. He even started sleeping in the stables with the reindeer in the hope that whatever magic made them fly might rub off on him. But you see, it wasn't as simple as that. There was a special reason why the reindeer could fly, and it wasn't in their food or their drink, it wasn't the way they slept, or it wasn't to do with their great velvety antlers or glowing golden hooves. There was a deeper magic at work, and it was the strongest, oldest kind of magic that existed. All around the world, there are millions of children just like you who all know about Santa's flying reindeer. They don't just think Santa's reindeer can fly. Those millions of children believe that Santa's reindeer can fly. They believe beyond any shadow of doubt, and belief is the most important magic there is. Believing is the only magic that makes the utterly impossible completely possible, and the undoubtedly undoable undeniably doable. And of all the different kinds of belief there are, the belief of a child is by far the most unbelievably unstoppable. And all the children in the world, if all the children in the world suddenly stop believing in Santa and flying reindeer and all the wonderful things in the North Pole, then all of those fantastic things would pop out of existence like the bursting of a bubble. Pop. That's why believing is so important. It's what keeps the magic alive. And so you can see the problem. Not one child on planet Earth knew that there was a dinosaur living in the North Pole. Not one child believed that a dinosaur could fly. So it was hopeless. No matter how fast the Christmasaurus ran, no matter how high the Christmasaurus jumped, without the belief of a child, he just could not fly. That's really sad. On the 1st of December, the Christmasaurus was walking along around the outskirts of the elf city with his head hanging low. The North Pole was getting into the full swing of Christmas, and the Christmasaurus saw a great snowman snowball fight in the distant snowfields. But he was terrible at throwing snowballs with those tiny little dinosaur arms. The elves had erected the most enormous Christmas tree in the centre of the ranch. But he was completely rubbish at decorating Christmas trees. The tinsel always got caught up in his claws and tail. He couldn't swim like the narwhals or wrap presents like the fairies. In fact, when he thought about it, the Christmasaurus realised just how different he was. He really didn't fit in at all. The Christmasaurus let out a very low, very sad roar, leaving long, lonely claw prints behind him, his scaly tail dragging in the snow. He stared out into the distance over the great North Pole mountains, and as the northern lights splashed their greens and blues across the sky, he wondered if there was anybody else in the whole wide world who was like him. Was there anybody out there who knew what it was like to be different? What the Christmasaurus didn't know was that there was someone a long way away who was looking up at the sky just like him, wondering the exact same thing. Someone who knew just what it was like to be different. You've already met him, of course, several chapters earlier. That someone was a small boy called William Trundle. That's the end of that chapter. And there's a lovely illustration of the Christmasaurus looking longingly up into the sky, feeling all alone. Now, I hope you don't ever feel lonely, because you always have Mum and Dad and your sister. If you ever feel that there's any issues, you can speak to us about it. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the story. It's time to go to sleep. Good night.